After 8 long years at war, through letters that grew shorter and winters that felt longer, Tom finally stood in front of the house he once called home. The walls stood as they always had, steady and familiar. Only he was uncertain and sure whether the home he loved would still recognize the man the war had sent back. Lena opened the door quietly. Behind her stood a little girl with wide hazel eyes, cautious, uncertain. Lux had grown up with stories of a father at war, but she had never known his face. Tom knelt slowly, careful not to frighten her, and then hid behind her mother. In a small, trembling voice, she whispered that he was not her father. The words struck harder than any bullet he had faced. That night, Tom sat alone at the kitchen table. The house was quiet, yet his thoughts were deafening. He traced the edge of an old photograph, wondering how a war fought miles away could take away the simplest thing, a child's recognition. The scar on his face had healed long ago, but in Lux's eyes it made him a stranger. War had altered his reflection and erased him from her memory. Lena gently asked Lux why she hadn't recognized Tom as her father, and the little girl quietly replied that in her memories, her dad was young, handsome, and had no scars on his face. Lena gently explained that Tom looked different now because he had given his youth to the battlefield, sacrificing his strength and his unscarred face so that she and Lux could continue living in peace and safety. The next day, Lena gently held up an old photograph for Lux. In it, a younger Tom with a smooth, unmarked face cradled a tiny baby in his arms. His eyes filled with the same warmth she still remembered. Days later, duty summoned him again. Tom walked down the empty street at dawn, his shadow stretching ahead, the silence heavier than the suitcase he carried, and then footsteps behind him. Small, urgent, Lux ran, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Daddy, please don't go." In that single word, 8 years of distance disappeared. Tom pulled her tightly into his arms, holding her as if time itself might try to take her away again. He promised her he would bring back something special, something she could hold when he was not there. Lux nodded, trusting him now completely. In the quiet hours of the barracks, when the others slept, Tom sat beneath a dim lamp and carved a small wooden music box. Each careful movement of the blade carried his longing. Each shaving of wood was a whisper of apology for the years he had missed. On the lid, he carved simple words, "For Lux, with love." "Dad," he tested the melody inside. Soft, gentle, a lullaby for the nights he would not be there. But war does not wait for promises to be fulfilled. In a sudden storm of chaos and smoke, Tom fell. With his final strength, he pressed the small music box into a fellow soldier's hands, asking only one thing: "Give this to my daughter." The soldier kept his promise. With solemn hands, Tom's comrade placed the music box into Lena's trembling grasp. He wanted her to have this, he said quietly. Lux opened the small wooden box with shining eyes. Every day after that, she would wind it carefully, letting its tender melody float through the room, smiling as if her father were right there beside her. He was still alive, still breathing, still fighting for the ones he loved. After only a few months back on the battlefield, Tom returned home, wounded and weary but alive. The war had marked his body, yet it had not kept him from finding his way back. When the door opened and he saw Lena and Lux standing there, relief washed over him. This quiet reunion felt more precious than any victory he could have earned. In the golden light of autumn, they held each other tightly, as if afraid the moment might slip away. No more distance, no more warrantly warmth, forgiveness, and the quiet promise that from now on they would face life together.